So you want to build your butt, booty, derriere, anus, bottom, backside, behind, haunches. With all these different names, it's obvious that this muscle gets a lot of attention. A lot of people think that you can only build your butt and your legs with heavy compound movements like the squat and the deadlift. And while these are excellent exercises that everyone should include into their arsenal, sometimes you just don't have all that equipment available to you. So today, I'm going to show you how you can get in a killer butt and leg workout with nothing but a few resistance bands. So what's going on, guys? It's Rob from fitnessandfinance.com, and today's workout is going to be all about the legs and the butt. When it comes to building a nice, round, and sculpted booty, there's one tip that I can give to you, just one tip that's going to revolutionize your butt training. And that tip is smashing that like button, subscribing to my channel so you can be notified every time I release excellent content. Or if you don't think my content's excellent, well, then what are you doing on my channel? Alright, I'm joking, okay? But on a more serious note, a lot of people will be surprised while your gluteus maximus is actually the largest single muscle in your body. It's actually one of the most common underactive muscles in people's body, and I can tell you why. There's two movements that are performed at the hip, extension and flexion. And see, the problem is that we sit all day on our butts, so we spend a lot of time in the flex position and not a lot of time in the extended position. Our hips are fully extended when we're standing upright, our legs are straight, and we're squeezing our butt to extend our hips forward. Whereas flexion is what we would do in something like a deadlift or when we're sitting down into a chair. The words flexion and extension are pretty easy to get confused, so a way that you can memorize them is that extension is when you're lengthening the angle of the joint, whereas flexion is where you're shortening the angle of the joint. So extension, flexion, extension, flexion. Alright y'all, so let's go ahead and jump into the workout. I figured that you guys aren't going to want to be looking at up close of my butt, so I brought in my beautiful girlfriend along to help me out with these workouts. Alright, exercise number one is going to be banded body weight squats. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to take the band, we're going to place it slightly above our knees. And what this is going to do is that the band is going to try to pull our knees inward, and we're going to actively resist the band by pulling our knees outward. This is going to put a lot of tension on the abductor muscles, which are the gluteus medius, the gluteus minimus, and the tensor fascia lata. Make sure to keep your heels planted on the ground. And what a lot of people tell you, they'll tell you to put the weight on your heels, and that's not really that bad of a cue, but a better way to say that was to make sure your heels don't come off the ground, because we actually want the weight to be evenly distributed through our heel, our middle foot, and our toes. Alright, so exercise number 2 on our list is going to be a band pull through. This is kind of mimic a deadlift, but it's going to be a little bit different. All you need to do to perform this exercise is a longer band and something to anchor it down on. You could use the leg of a table or anything heavy that can anchor down the band when you're pulling against it. In my case, I have an umbrella holder by my pool that works perfect for this. So the way we're going to perform this exercise, you're going to take your long band, anchor it down with whatever you choose to anchor it with, and then you're going to turn your back to it. Take a few steps away until you start to feel tension in the band pick up. And then what you want to do is you want to hinge at your hips, and then when you come all the way back, you want to squeeze as hard as you can with your butt to drive your hips forward. Remember what I said earlier. Your gluteal muscles are hip extensors, something that we don't see a lot of in our day-to-day life. As you're performing this exercise, you want to make sure to keep your core tight and have your back straight, okay? We don't want any rounding or arching of the lower back. Alright, so exercise number 3 on our list is going to be banded hip thrust. This one is about as close as you're going to get to a glute isolation exercise. So to perform this exercise, we're going to put the band on our knees similar to how we did with the banded squats, and we're going to put our shoulder blades onto a bench or a couch or anything that you can find that's about that height. Alright, so once you've gotten to position, what you want to do is you want to fully flex your hips and then push with your butt to reach full extension and to really squeeze your butt at the top. Now what I would recommend is holding that top position for about 1 second to really emphasize that squeeze on your glute muscles. If you find that your hamstrings are becoming dominant in this exercise, try moving your feet closer to your body, and that'll put more emphasis on the glutes. Alright, so exercise number 4. Exercise number 4 is going to be the forward lunge. So to perform the forward lunge, you need to set the band up in the way we're showing here in the video. This exercise is an excellent choice because it trains your legs in a unilateral fashion. And if you watch any of my videos, you know that I love training body parts unilaterally as well as together to have full development. So to perform this exercise, you want to lunge forward until your front leg has a 90-degree angle at your knee, or about where your upper leg is parallel to the ground. If you find it hard to maintain your balance when doing this exercise, try stepping out in a diagonal fashion, and that will give you a greater area that your legs are supporting you on. Kind of like how a tripod has 3 legs to have the greater area to give it the stability it needs. Exercise number 5, the lateral lunge. The lateral lunge or side lunge is a great choice for working your quads, your abductors, and your adductors. Try to go as deep as you can into the stretch at the bottom of the movement. This will really emphasize the inner thigh muscles. You'll definitely feel it. Alright, up next, number 6, the prone hamstring curl. For this exercise, you'll need to use the same anchor that you used earlier. Lay down on your stomach with the other end of the band wrapped around your ankle. What you want to do here is curl your leg inward towards your butt, like you were going to touch it with your heel. This exercise is set up to mimic a prone hamstring curl machine, and it works pretty much the same way, except the resistance is a little bit different with bands. You're definitely going to feel an intense contraction in the back of your leg or your hamstring muscle. If you look closely, you can see Cassandra's hamstring just light up when she performs this movement. Number 7, the leg extension. Alright, so we're going to use the same anchor point that we used in our last exercise, but we're going to set this one up a little differently. It can be tricky to keep the band around your ankle, so you can wrap the band around your foot like this to keep it from sliding while you do this movement. This exercise trains the exact opposite movement as the hamstring curl. We're training leg extension as opposed to leg flexion. You're definitely going to feel this one in your quad, so I recommend you saving this towards the end of your workout as your quad finisher. Alright, number 8, banded calf raises. Alright, so if you've been following fitness and finance for any amount of time, you'll know that I love plantar flexion and dorsiflexion training exercises. So this exercise is going to focus on plantar flexion, planting your toes into the ground. To set this one up, we're going to use the same anchor point that we've been using. We're going to walk out with our hands behind us holding the band until we feel a little bit of tension. Then what we're going to do is we're going to lean forward slightly to help us stand even higher on our tippy toes. We walk on our calves all day long, so our calves have a lot of endurance, so we got to go for very high reps with these, okay? And we want to do them slow and controlled. Try doing these in sets of 25. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you do them slow and controlled, I'm sure you'll feel a huge burn in the back of your calves, which that's going to be your gastrocnemius and your soleus muscles that are doing all that work. Alright, number 9, banded dorsiflexion. Alright, so once again, we're going to be using that same anchor point that we've been using. What you're going to want to do is sit on the ground with your legs in front of you. Put the band around your toes and point your ankles as far down as you can, and then pull them upwards as far as you can. Try doing this in sets of 25 as well. You're going to feel a burn in the front of your calves, and that's a muscle called your anterior tibialis, a muscle that doesn't get a lot of attention as compared to our soleus and gastrocnemius. Alright guys, so there you have it, 9 exercises that you can do at home with no equipment besides a few exercise bands. If you enjoy the content that I'm making, please drop me a like down below to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, because you know, YouTube will just show a totally unrelated video that no one asked for on the front page and suddenly it has millions of views. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified anytime I upload new content. Alright everyone, I'll see y'all in the next video.